Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is the your top 5 tips from your future self for changing your life before 2024. So each row is just going to represent one tip that is from your future self, a suggestion on what you could do to change your life between now and the end of the year. You have this justice card. It's not the justice card, but it says justice on it. It says, make sure to be honest and ethical in money matters. Something in your life needs to be brought into alignment, and I definitely feel that is true. How crazy is this, that you have the Lovers right here, and it's like 2 people facing each other, and then you have the 4 cups right here, which is like 2 people facing away from each other. And I don't even think this has to necessarily be love, by the way. I feel that this could just be something that needs to come into alignment, just like that card says. So it's, without even getting into this row yet, I feel that there's something that is not kind of matching up here, or something that isn't, 100% for you. And I feel that just some changes could make something a lot more successful in this first row, and that's like what your future self is saying. Again, you have the Lovers, the 4 cups, and the Knight of Cups. Again, the intention for these readings isn't necessarily love, although it could be part of it. The intention is to find out what your future self suggests that you change to change your life for the better. And but what I would say is, obviously, there could be a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you. You have the Knight of Cups showing up right here. You have that Lovers, and again, I feel you're kind of at a crossroads right now, even as we're doing this reading. And really, I feel like your choice is simple. I would just pick the new path, whatever you're thinking of doing. I kind of even have the words like change of scenery popping into my head here with this Lovers card. It's like you need to change the scenery, or, some of you maybe want to move or travel or something like that. I think just a change of scenery would be a good idea for you just in general. I'm using the in-between tarot, by the way, and this is in between 2 cards. On the other side of the Lovers is a Chariot, and so, there could be some sort of victory coming in for you if you make a change. The funny thing is, with the Chariot, normally the Chariot driver is leaving the city behind, and he is setting himself apart, which seems to be an answer for everyone. Why? Because Uranus and Taurus, and also Jupiter and Taurus, all that energy in your sign is like, make some sort of change to change your life. And this first row, it definitely makes sense. I would be careful of speeding, by the way. At this time, again, you have Chariot, basically, and that this Justice card says police on it, so no speeding at this time. You have the 4 cups to the 5 of cups. Again, 4 cups to me is a disappointment. 5 of cups to me is a disappointment. I consider both cards to represent some sort of disappointing energy, but I feel like some things need to be mixed together. I also feel that you need to realize that your experience is unique. Like, if you're growing a business, don't feel like it has to be exactly how it's worked for someone else. It's like, it can work in different ways. It can, work differently for you, and you don't have to do everything exactly like someone else. I don't know, it's popping into my head. So especially for those of you working on projects or businesses or career changes, again, the advice I'm getting from your future self here is that you need to, don't be afraid to be unique, and just realize that your path is unique. Some things will be the same, of course, but, there might be some differences, and that's perfectly okay. I also feel like you're getting assistance. You can see that hand kind of reaching out from the clouds above those 2 people's heads. It's like, but they're both those people are not looking at the solution that exists right above their head. Again, if you are married, if you are in a relationship, it's like there could be some very easy solutions coming in for you, but I would be careful of overcomplicating things as well. You have the Knight of Cups. This is the in-between Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups energy, and so there definitely could be love coming in for you for those of you that want it. But again, I think this row is more talking about something you're working on. Knight of Cups to me is a dream that feels like it can't be true sometimes because he is normally standing in the desert. So, if we use the imagery of tarot, which is how you should read tarot anyway, the desert, nothing can grow in a desert. And so it kind of represents the fact that you might have some sort of dream where you feel like you don't have the resources necessary to accomplish a dream, or maybe you feel like you lack the skills or the ambition or whatever, but really there's water normally flowing in front of him. And the Queen of Cups would represent following your heart. So I feel like regardless of whether or not you feel you have the resources to do something, I feel like you need to try, because when we try, the universe moves out of the way, and that's kind of where this is going for you here. So we're going to use the Oracle of the Radiant Sun to clarify this. Yes. With the Lovers to the Chariot, you have this risk card. I don't know, you're like the 10th sign to get the risk card in exactly the same position as like literally the first card right here. So I would say that it's definitely would be a good time for you to take risk. We're talking about calculated risk here, of course. So if you have an idea for like a business, it could just be the risk to take part in the business. One thing I will say is that right here, this kind of reminds me of the Three of Pentacles for obvious reasons right here. And the Three of Pentacles card of teamwork. And so we are in a time of teamwork. Anything you can do to get other people to help you right now would be a great idea. You could also be part of a team that's becoming more successful, like in career or work. With the Four of Cups there, you have this resourcefulness card. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. I literally was talking about being resourceful with the Knight of Cups. He thinks he doesn't have the resources necessary to be successful because he's in the desert, but he actually does. There's water flowing in front of him. So even though he's in the desert, which again, there might be parts of your life where you feel like you're in the desert where nothing can grow, but really it can. Really, there you have the resources. We even see it above their head right here. It's like these pots or whatever are all spilt over, but there's one above their heads. So, again, I feel you're going to have to tap into your resources. And I talk about this a lot because we are in a time of resources, really. With the Knight of Cups, you have this resistance card. This is you, Taurus, right here. Again, I feel like every reading that when I use this deck, the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, you always get this card. So, it's definitely, I feel you're in a time of needing to face resistance or needing to overcome some resistance as well, needing to do some things that maybe you think you're not capable of doing, but you are. So, definitely that's like probably the first thing that you should do is get into alignment. And again, I wouldn't compare yourself to anyone. For whatever reason, that's like the main message that I'm getting here. I'm not saying you're trying to be like someone else, but again, if you're trying to grow a business or a career, it's like I just think it's more of a mindset. Like you think like, oh, I have to be this way to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish. But really, you just need to be yourself. And I know that's so super cliche because I do think there are times where we should not be ourselves. If you want to be successful in business and yourself right now is laying on the couch eating 10 bags of Funyuns every single day, obviously you should not be yourself. Right? So I think be yourself is BS advice. I think you should be honest with yourself and then be yourself, right? Because obviously your energy has to match what you want. But really, I do think you should be yourself at this time. Next, for your second tip, you have this June card. It says, unorthodox thinking leads the way. Follow the road less traveled. Chariot, you also have the Wheel of Fortune coming up in your fourth row as well. So I think unorthodox thinking of different ways of doing things, of course, is going to lead to a lot of success. The world needs more of this right now anyway, and, I talk about this all the time, how, I believe we are in a time where crazy ideas are going to lead to a lot of success for people. So, if you have some wacky, wild, crazy ideas, don't be afraid to use those ideas. You have the Queen of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the High Priestess showing up here. So it's like you see something clearly now. I feel like you see like the road to success. You even go down to the, I'll show you here. In this diagonal, you go down to the Six of Pentacles. And so the Six of Pentacles to me is kind of a card of being on the right path. And, normally if you've been watching me for a while, I love 2 6s. And you kind of do have 2 6s here because with the Five of Swords is the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords energy. And, so again, you kind of have 2 6s, kind of, but not really. But what I will say is that you have the Chariot right next to the Six of Pentacles. So, to me, that is definitely confirmation for your path. The Chariot driver, he doesn't really know where he's going. He's just wanting to set himself apart. He's just wanting to be unique. And so I feel like you finally see things very, very clearly. I feel like your future self in this row is also saying, don't be afraid to leave something behind. You have the Five of Swords here. This is the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords. Five of Swords is kind of like a card of, it's kind of like a card of winning a battle. It's a card of winning at all costs. It's not normally a good card, but the Six of Swords is moving on to calmer shores. And maybe you've been through a lot of battles in your life over the past few years, and now it's time for you to let all that go and move forward. I do also feel your future self is saying that there is some sort of battle that you need to release. It could be, it's like, I don't know. I just think sometimes in life we have those moments where we have like a ex break up with us, and it could be like 6 months later and you still want to rip this person's head off or whatever. So I have 2 pieces of advice. Either do it, get it out of your system, or, the better advice is don't do it and figure out why you want to rip that person's head off. Like, and maybe you need to write them a letter and burn it or something like that. I feel like that's only for some of you here. And, some people might say it's low vibe or whatever to, rip a person's head off or really, tell them how you feel and look like a crazy person. But I don't know, sometimes I think you just need to do it, right? And especially if they were a complete jerk, maybe you just need to let them have it, right? So, there you go. But I'm giving you permission. But at the same time, I do feel the Six of Swords is like about kind of getting over something. I have a million things popping into my head right now in this row. I also feel like your future self is saying you don't need to keep learning something. Especially if you keep having like repeat mistakes or if you have a repeat pattern in your life, I do feel this is encouraging you to release it. It is kind of funny that we go 4 swords to the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of like repeating a cycle, repeating something, over and over again. But we can control the Wheel of Fortune. We can take control of the Wheel of Fortune. There are several ways to do that. But really, that card is the Wheel of Fortune to the Justice card. And so cause and effect, it's like, but really, I think, paying attention to the cycle, like why, if you are repeating a cycle, I would ask yourself, like, why am I repeating this cycle? What do I miss every single time or whatever? And again, this is not a criticism. We all do it. You have the High Priestess to the Empress here. It's like enough thinking about something that has potential is kind of what I'm getting here. The High Priestess is the card of potential. She has no roof over her head, and I always say it really represents the fact that there's no limit to what she can accomplish. The Empress creates unlimited abundance. So I feel like your future self is kind of like saying, okay, you've been intuitively guided towards something, like a new idea, or something you'd like to do in your life, and now it's time to kind of accelerate your abundance. And that's like the word that I'm getting is like accelerated abundance or something. But I do feel it requires work. It's like, there are things that you could do that would get you moving. With the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords, you have this Quarrel card here. This is like I don't even know what to call this. This is like a shift, but I really see some of you gaining power. This could be one of those things where even in like a relationship, like you could be becoming the boss or the leader. I'm not saying you're like leading the relationship or blah, 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 but it's like something, there is some sort of shift that I'm getting here, like a power shift or something. I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing though. With the Five of Swords, you have this influence card. Yeah, some of you could be seeing how like a past relationship was influenced by other people or whatever. And again, I would just say move past it here. For others, I would be careful to of how relationships influence you. It's like, I don't know. I'm sure you've all had those people in your life where it's like they walk into the room and the mood changes, right? It gets heavy, dark, or, angry or whatever the case may be. If you have people like that in your life, they could be affecting your work. They could be preventing you from being successful because of their energy. So I feel your future self is avoid those people. With the High Priestess, you have this idealism card here. Yeah, nothing is perfect. Is what I would say, but at the same time, what would it look like if things went 100% according to plan? The book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, he says, I need to read that book again. I said I was going to read it like 2 weeks ago and I forgot. But, in that book, he basically, I don't remember why he asked this question, but it's important. The question of the book is, if things worked out 100% according to plan, what would that look like? And it's not about, things actually working out 100% according to plan. But most people, we just come up with a plan and then we immediately think negatively. So what would happen if you went the other direction and think positively? Of course, nothing is perfect, but, it's like, I feel some of you need to do that. For your next tip here, you have this card that says continue to make the most of every open door. Yeah, I would get as much juice as you can out of everything that you do, no matter what, right? Even if you think you know all the answers, even if you think you know everything about something that you're doing, it's like, can you get some sort of benefit out of what you're doing? I always tell a story. I have a buddy who was in marketing, and he was a very successful marketer, but he would always go to conferences like for teaching. And he would always go to like the beginner classes, and people would always ask him, they'd be like, hey, you are a genius, you are very successful, why do you go to these beginner classes? And he would always say, because this is the stuff I forget. So, it's like sometimes we just need to like brush up on that beginner stuff, but he really would get the most out of it. He was a genius, and he wouldn't go there being like, oh, I'm a genius, I know everything. He would go there and be like, what am I forgetting? What am I not paying attention to? So again, I don't know, that's like popping into my head here. It's something, it stuck with me my whole entire life, this, that mentality, because it's like, you never know. It's like, it's not the hard stuff you forget. When something is super complicated, usually like some crazy process in work or business, you remember it, right? But it's the easy stuff. That's why we make tiny little mistakes. It's always stuff that we skip over. And I kind of feel like your future self is saying, take advantage of that. But I also feel this is saying like you could be getting a lot more out of the experiences you have. I'm getting like a million things here. Again, I'm getting a lot. It's funny because every other reading that I've done so far, Taurus, I don't know, this is a benefit for you really, because everyone else, it's been like 5 things, right? For you, it's like a million things that could totally change your life over this, between now and the end of the year, I would say. But again, I would get the most out of every single situation. I would really kind of extract as much as you can and see if there's like extra stuff you can get out of situations. And again, I have so much stuff, like there's so much random stuff popping into my head. Like, can you negotiate, if you're buying something, can you negotiate it? Can you get a discount, right? It's like, that's a great way to extract more value from something. But again, you won't know unless you ask. So I get a lot of that here with this energy. I also feel there just could be like random opportunities that pop up, like, random classes or, opportunities to learn from people that you look up to. And, again, this could be in work or business. So I have that feeling of like, if your boss comes to you and is like, oh, I want to send you to this training, I would like do it. You know what I mean? Especially, if it's free, of course, I feel like it is free probably. Maybe there's a video that pops up on YouTube that you want to watch that could teach you something. Like, I would take advantage of it with this energy for sure. And again, these are open doors. That's the other thing as well. That card says open door. So again, these are probably like free opportunities. That's how I'm seeing it in my head. It's like most people don't take advantage of things that are free, right? Because you think it's free, so you're just like, it's probably not that valuable, whatever. But again, I don't know. I have something that you need to pay attention to that's like free. Again, it could be like something your boss wants you to do. I do feel it's financially related for whatever reason. I don't want to keep going on and on about this, but there you go. You have this 4 of Wands to the 5 of Wands. Again, funny enough, the 5 of Wands is a card of education. On the 5 of Wands, a lot of people read it as conflict and competition, which it absolutely can represent, but the people on the card, they are using sticks to fight. They're not using swords. So really, it's a card of like learning how to fight, learning how to battle. And, I feel for a lot of you, you could be learning how to stand out above the crowd. I would say that I do think that it would be an amazing time for you to try to do things to stand out above the crowd. I keep telling people that Pluto and Aquarius, I would try to get as much attention as you possibly can, whatever it is that you do. I always say that like attention is a currency of the future. So, anything you can do to get positive attention, then that's what I would do. Again, there are going to be plenty of people who get tons of negative attention, but that is not the attention you're going to want. Trust me, it will come back to haunt those people that do crazy things. Like I'm sure you've seen, like there are people on TikTok breaking into houses and crazy stuff like that. They will go to jail. Don't worry. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like positive attention, good stuff, right? You have the 4 swords to the 5 of swords here. I do feel there is something you need to let go. I mean, just in general, the whole entire reading here, we kind of got it here. There could be an imbalanced situation that you need to let go of. It might not even be a breakup, as in it might be a breakup, but one that you've already been through. It's almost like it's the energy that needs to be released of something here. If it's not a breakup, for those of you, again, if you're in a positive relationship, whatever, that part is not for you. But what I would say is I feel that it could be like a story that you tell about yourself, like how you see yourself in the world. And even here you have the Chariot to the Strength card. And I almost feel this is the Chariot, but to the, in between the Chariot and the Strength card, I almost feel that you need to do what he's doing, meditate. And I feel like you need to visualize yourself being strong, being fearless. Even your next card is the Badger Spirit. It says, be fearless, be bold. So I feel you need to, do things that make you feel bold and assertive. But here's the thing about the Strength card is that the Strength card, normally the lion, has its tail between its legs and it's submitting to the lady on the card. So, it's like something that she has to work on every single day. It's something that she has to do day in, day out. She has to work on herself. And I definitely feel your future self here is saying that, you could absolutely make yourself more, but, I feel like you have to start small. And, I would like meditate. I would, practice meditation. Anything you can do to, kind of, visualize yourself being more, being stronger, being more bold, being more confident. I feel all those things will lead to a major change, and again, like meditation, hypnosis, those are all like great things to do. Affirmations. To me, affirmations take a very long time to work. By the way, I love affirmations. I write every single morning. I write and I always do affirmations. But and again, I think that you should. Is what I'm saying. But I think it takes a long time for affirmations to like really sink in, right? But it is something that I do. But I'm just I'm saying I think there are faster ways as well. With the 4 of Wands and the 5 of Wands, you have this Defense card. Yeah, I would avoid any conflicts, just period. And I would avoid people who want to cause conflict in your life. Remember what I said about that like heavy energy? It's definitely a message that is popping into my head in your reading, that between now and the end of the year, I would be careful of the energies that surround you. If you have a dark, deep, angry energy that surrounds you, then it might be time to put up some boundaries or to correct the energy with that person. Maybe you have to avoid them or whatever, right? With the Four Swords here, you have this health card. It wouldn't surprise me. I do think that everybody gets these like health cards recently with me, and so I would say it is just a time of health where we should be trying to stay healthy. It's kind of funny as well. Like I always notice trends on like the front page of YouTube. I'm sure you do too, right? But I've just noticed on the front page of my YouTube, it's like all of a sudden like this year I've been getting like a bunch of videos about like quitting drinking and being more healthy and like all this other stuff. So I'm not telling you what to do, but whatever you can do to be more healthy would be a good idea. What do you know? With the Chariot, you have this publicity card, exactly what I've been talking about. I would try to get as much attention as you possibly can. I think it's an amazing time, next 20 years for writing books, starting blogs, starting YouTube channels, being on social media, doing anything you can to share your voice and to be positive and all that other stuff. So especially if you have a business, you should be doing this. But I think everyone, even if you have a job, you should be doing this as well. I keep talking about, I'm kind of working on my Chris Rex site as well, and I'm going to be talking a lot and doing videos on Chris Rex channel as well about kind of like having like a sphere of influence, basically having something that you talk about that you are known for, right? And it could be something very small. Even if you have a job, I think that in the future, it'll be very valuable to be able to, show potentially a new boss that you have like this, kind of, have a bunch of knowledge collected about something. And if you constantly talk about this stuff on social media, it doesn't matter if no one listens. If you go to a boss and you're like, look, I do all these videos, I tweet about this all the time. I don't care how you feel about Twitter. I don't care what your opinion is of Twitter. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about building something valuable. And, so again, I would do it. And whenever I say this, people love to tell me, oh, social media is toxic, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ignore it. It doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you building up a bunch of information online so that you can go to a boss and be like, look, I talk about this all the time. I'm an expert, right? When you can go somewhere and be like, I'm an expert, they'll just hire you on the spot. So, again, that's like the stuff that will happen because of all this attention. So just do it, plain and simple. Next, for tip number 4, you have this Badger Spirit. It literally says, be fearless, be bold. Don't leave excuses on comments on random people's YouTube channel about why you can't start social media and why it's toxic and all this other stuff, right? Don't leave comments about being too old, too young, too whatever. I don't care, right? So I think it's just time to get started. This is like very matter-of-fact energy, the Badger Spirit. It's about being a badger, not giving up, charging through things, and, making things happen. So that's really the tip that I think will. Number 4 here, I think, is your best tip. I feel like this is the best thing that you could do is just start, talking about things and start talking about yourself as you are an expert. There really is. I always get this energy of like fake it till you make it, but that's not correct. Number one, I don't believe in fake it till you make it. I think you should just be what you want to be. And if you're not that thing, become that thing and just be in the energy of whatever it is, right? So it's like, the best example I can give you is people always say, I want to be a writer. I'm like, okay, real writers write every single day. So, I used to get questions all the time. People would be like, should I write this book? I'm like, well, if you want to be a writer, you should just be writing. It doesn't matter if it's going to be successful. It doesn't matter what, you're never going to get there. You will never be that thing if you don't do it, right? So it's like, if there's something that you want to be, just do it, is what I'm saying. Just start creating it. And again, start talking about it. Surround yourself with it. And I think it'll happen way, way faster than you think. You have the 7 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 6 of Pentacles here. I feel like something will happen way faster than you think. 7 of Wands is a card of conviction. It says, when you know that you're going to be successful, you will be successful. This is in between the 7 of Wands and the 8 of Wands, which literally is saying, when you commit to something 110%, then 8 of Wands, it's going to happen fast. 8 of Wands is a card of things happening quickly. So, I really feel that this could be success quickly coming in for you. You have this the Wheel of Fortune to the Justice card. I would pay attention to cycles. We seem to be in a time of deep cycles, I would say. A lot of people get this card as well, the Wheel of Fortune. And, the easiest way to control the wheel is to pay attention to cycles. Good things and bad things always happen in life. Most people are just like totally surprised when something bad happens, or even when something good happens, right? They don't take advantage of it. I see it happen all the time. People make a bunch of money and they just go and spend it instead of doing something smart with it or not spending it, right? So again, this kind of goes both ways, but it says when something happens, number one, you should be able to pay attention to the cycle, and you should be able to sense that something is coming. And number two, take advantage of it. So I would do whatever you can to learn to take advantage of cycles aggressively with that Badger Spirit card. I feel like that card is saying when you get an opportunity, you take it and run with it. You double down on it. You really hit it hard. And that's what I would do between now and the end of the year is I would be hitting any opportunities you can very hard. You have the Six of Pentacles here. You basically have two sevens because this is in between the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. And, I feel for a lot of you that two sevens is internal fears that don't exist. But I do feel there's a lot of success. It's funny we were talking about planting seeds as well with the Knight of Cups because the Six of Pentacles is my card of planting seeds. It is my card of, investing in something, and whatever grows, double down on it. Whatever doesn't grow, leave it behind basically. So, that's what I would do there. But let's see what is going on for you here. With the Seven of Wands, you have this Exaltation card. Something is like divinely guided for you. This is the moon in Taurus, so, I feel this is more Taurus energy. It's like you're meant to do something, and the more you believe that, the more successful you'll be. Again, a lot of this reading is about beliefs, so I really feel anything you can do to believe in yourself more. Again, hypnosis, affirmations, brainwashing, I don't care what it is. Like, if you have to brainwash yourself. How many Taurus cards do you have here? You have two up here. You have a bunch. Three. Yeah, you have a bunch of Taurus energy, so you're showing up hard in this reading, and I would take advantage of that. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have this Independence card. Yeah, I feel like you're perfectly capable of doing what you want to do. I feel like you're perfectly capable of, standing on your own. I think that your work speaks for itself as well, I'm getting. So, if you're worried that people won't pay attention to your YouTube channel or whatever it is that you're doing, I would let those fears go because, again, I feel like you are going to be very successful here. With the Six of Pentacles, you have this Lost card. Funny enough, this is Saturn and Pisces. We have Saturn and Pisces right now. A bunch of people have had this card. I think there is an element of loss when it comes to Saturn and Pisces, but it's like I think we're kind of, you can see this bird picking over the skull that's got nothing on it. So, I think for a lot of us, we could be grieving the loss of things that really have nothing to offer. So if you are grieving a loss, which we kind of talked about at the beginning of the reading, it's like, did it really have anything to offer in the first place? Could be a relationship, could be a business. Why is this happening? I think it's Neptune and Pisces as well. We have Neptune and Pisces also retrograding. It's retrograding right now in Pisces, I should say. And I think Neptune and Pisces is like the fantasy. It's like a fantasy. Maybe we lose something like a relationship, a business, whatever. And that Neptune energy in Pisces kind of makes it more than it actually is. So like, just know that if you are grieving the loss of something, it probably is not as great as you think. And so there you go. For your fifth tip here, you have the Sand Dollar card. It says, manifestation, be open to receive. Yes, you are clearly manifesting something much, much better in your life. A lot of success, a lot of abundance. Something is coming in for you here, Taurus. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles here to the Four of Pentacles, I feel you're creating a lot of financial success, but again, I feel like you need to see yourself as this way. I'm pretty sure I've said to you every single reading for like the past month that if I were you specifically, Taurus, I would be working on money blocks, abundance blocks, any type of blockages that you have, right? And also how you see yourself. I feel like I wish I had better advice here, but I don't, number one. But number two, I'm sure there are 1.5 billion free YouTube videos that will help you with your self-image, that will make you see yourself as successful, that could help see yourself as someone who deserves love, or whatever it is you want. I would start doing those things like literally every single day. That I think it'll change your life very quickly as well. And like I said, it's free. And so you have that card that says, continue to make the most of every open door. I would really, again, take advantage of opportunities. It's like, I also think that is again, I think those two cards, continue to make the most of every open door, and the Badger Spirit, it's like those two cards are your most important cards here. I really believe that your future self is saying that. And again, it's kind of like, I just have so many random stories popping into my head with that open door card. It like reminds me of like college. There used to be like teachers that would be like, if you need help, I have office hours. It's like, take advantage of it. It's like, I feel, I don't know how to say it, but it's almost as if there are opportunities coming in for you that are like office hours, right? From like a college professor, maybe literally, but it could also be that it's like, maybe someone offers to help you, clean up your house or, do something that takes a weight off or whatever. I would take advantage of those opportunities, whatever they are, especially if it's going to be helpful. Next, you have the Ace of Swords, and with the Two of Swords, I feel like something is coming in to show you something clearly. Two of Swords, normally, that lady has a blindfold on. She's not seeing things clearly. But again, this is the Ace of Swords. It's the in-between energy. And Ace of Swords is the truth. Ace of Swords is also a sacrifice. So there's definitely a sacrifice that's been made here, but I feel like there is a truth that could be coming in for you that helps you kind of like see things in life more clearly or understand something, and I do feel it's something that will set you free. You have the Eight of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like you're starting to believe in yourself. Again, Nine of Pentacles is also a card of independence. And again, I always say that doesn't mean that she's alone. It just means that she's able to take care of herself. But you have this independence card right here. So I kind of feel like you're in a good position to take care of yourself or to, nurture yourself, heal yourself. All those good things are like popping into my head here. Let's see. With the Three of Pentacles, you have this bluff card. I feel like you need to call someone's bluff as well. Again, remember what I was saying about this like power switch or power dynamic or something like that? It's almost like you are becoming more powerful than someone else. This could be in work or business. Maybe you're getting a raise over a person or getting into a management position. But I don't know. It's, there's something here about that where like there's a change in a power dynamic. This could also be in a relationship as well. It could also be that you are getting into a relationship with a person where like who has true power. It's like there's I think there's false people who just want to have power in relationships because they want power, right? But this person is actually powerful that you are attracting, like in a good way. I don't know, something weird there. You're gonna notice a difference as well. With the Ace of Swords, you have this indecision card. Yes, I feel like you need to make a choice here. Some of you could be too stuck to an idea, I'm getting as well. Like if you've been working on something that isn't working in your life, then I feel it's time to either upgrade the idea, figure out why it's not working, or kind of like iterate on the idea, take it in a new direction. And I would pay attention to that here. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have this empathy card. Yeah, I feel like I just feel in general that you feel like people are starting to listen to you. Like I feel, and again, this is a good thing. This is probably why this reading is saying get as much attention as you possibly can, because it's like people are starting to listen. This could also be in love as well. Like if you want love, I feel that there could be a person who's like truly powerful and who actually listens to you. It's like they use their power in a good way, not in a bad way. So, that's kind of like the energy that I get here. I also feel it's a person who listens. If you want love, someone who's very loyal. There's a dog right here. Dogs represent loyalty. So, definitely could be attracting a person like that. Again, I don't think this is necessarily a love reading. I would say that it's more about you becoming powerful, especially with that Chariot to the Strength card. But all in all, this looks amazing. I love where this is going. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy the rest of your year.